Hello and welcome to
Hi.
this week's Travelin Young. It's
We don't know what day it is.
we're trying to keep you on your toes. You never know what day that we're gonna have a video. And so we thought, given this kind of sporadic nature at which we appear to be releasing videos, we thought it would be interesting to talk a little bit about the roller coaster of life plus YouTube.
The emotional ups and downs of having a YouTube channel and real life.
Yeah, and just kind of walking through a little bit about some of the things around the process of us creating videos, why sometimes it seems like we're not consistent anymore, all those things. We thought that we would share with you the roller coaster of being on YouTube is what we're titling this one on this week's Travelin Young. All right, so the roller coaster of YouTube.
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit about our own experience, but also share that for people that are thinking about starting YouTube, because the odds are this roller coaster of excitement and all struggles and all that is consistent for anybody.
Yeah.
The timing might be different around when people hit those those phases, but for the longest time, we were creating 2 videos a week for at least like a year and a half. I don't know exactly, almost 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we maintained that pace that time, because it was a ton. And I know that there's days that at least most of the time all 3 of us were involved, and that means usually 1, if not 2 of us were like kind of driving the force behind each video.
It's usually you.
Yeah, but sometimes you'd be also super in and Maya. And that would help kind of the energy. We'd bounce off each other. Now Maya's not around as much, and we're super busy at work, and it's made it difficult sometimes to like feel the drive and the energy on one day. And we've made the decision that if we don't feel the drive and the energy one day, we'll wait a day or 2 until we're like really excited about what we're doing. Because I feel like there's a big difference in engagement, and I think people can tell when we've got the energy versus when we don't have the energy.
Yeah, because we're just pushing ourselves, and as much as we try to make it, not look like we're doing that, I think it does still kind of come through.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I could see the performance in videos, and like I know like the time of when we do videos and what's going on and the stories behind the scenes of certain times and certain videos, and I can see looking back that the engagement and the responsiveness from people viewing aren't as high when we're not as energetic and into it. And so there's this whole, I know we talk sometimes about, like at first it was all about making sure we created a schedule and produced videos at a pace, because that helps the algorithm and YouTube and everything. And then we started saying we need to focus on quality more. But I think quality is a little bit interesting, because in some cases I would define quality as either we've got a topic that we've researched a ton and there's clear quality. Sometimes the quality is just from us as presenters and how we feel like we're creating quality in
content,
how we're talking and stuff. And then sometimes it's we've gone somewhere and have a really cool experience that we want to share, and there's quality there. But all of that needs to be like in all cylinders, I feel, in order to make
really
the most
hit it. Yeah,
and
like
I don't
have a good video. And
I don't want to create stuff that doesn't feel like it's at least a level of excitement that we're really excited.
Yeah, and I've actually seen lately, because I feel like the videos that we've done lately, it's like hit at the right time, and like we've all been really excited about it, and I feel like that shows. And then somebody's like, oh, she's laughing all the time, and it seems fake, and I'm like, it's not fake. Like, this is just like how we are, and we laugh a whole lot. We really enjoy doing this stuff, and so that's super genuine, actually. But I think it's better to wait until you have that energy in you to do a video.
It's really hard to manifest it.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, by the way, this couch right here, I can get horizontal on this thing, and in a matter of like 30 seconds, I could be asleep. So sometimes I come home from work, and I still work from home sometimes. I'll come downstairs, and I'll lay down at like 5:36 or 6:30, and it's like 7 something. I'm like, man, I'm groggy. I don't think I can do this right now. And so that's been a challenge, and that's created a very sporadic schedule and put us in a position where we're not releasing videos as frequently or not always the same day of the week. And I think this is like what we want to avoid, because I probably watch and study how people do videos more than you guys do. But there's this phase that people reach a burnout, which I think would have happened prior to now if we hadn't made some adjustments to and accepting when it's just not the right time to do a video and saying, no, we're not going to do this because we have to. I don't care that our analytics are down for 8 days. That's fine. And some people burn out and then they just can't keep on. And I don't want that to happen. I want us to continue to do this because we
want to do it.
And it's so much fun. And we get to like do so many cool things and meet so many cool people. And I mean, it just helps us embrace Denmark more. So I don't want that to change. But we got to work in constraints in order to maintain that, you know, and not reach a phase of burning out a bit.
And I think we had to accept that because there is an algorithm on YouTube, and if you want to have your videos out in front of everybody all the time, you have to follow a schedule and you have to be very regimented about that. And I think at some point we just had to say, we're just going to accept that we're not always going to feed into the algorithm, and that has to be okay.
Yeah, this group asked me to speak in Aarhus a couple weeks ago about YouTube, and I went and spoke and reviewed analytics and a few things to prepare for that, some stuff I hadn't looked at in a while. And I mean, it was like, I mean, when I looked at it, I showed them the numbers and had to say, hey, there's this period in the first 6 months where we were getting like 100 views a day if we're lucky across all our videos, you know? And it's like, first you got to be able to power through that. When it's easy to get burned out because it's discouraging. Yeah. Then we hit this massive peak, and then when we were on TV2 and stuff, it was super high. And then you think, wow, well, that's just going to be the future. It's only like upward trajectory from here.
Oh, sweet summer children.
And then you know, the way that YouTube works, people obviously get interested in other things. Yeah. I mean, my YouTube, you know, how I am on YouTube and my own kind of behavior, like I mean, I look at all kinds of random things that are not connected to each other, so it doesn't know what to show me. And some people I walk in
Game It Out or
Game It Out is I'll get into that like rabbit hole for like a week, and then another week I'm like into some kind of like Apple HomeKit automation thing, and I'm down that for a week. And then the other day I was like trying to learn some Excel stuff, and that like completely polluted my YouTube because I was like watching videos on pivot tables and all these like
500 videos on pivot tables.
Yeah, and all these like complex data searching and stuff, and that like messed up my whole feed. So I know it's like that's the reality, and so we then moved down, and now we're fairly consistent month by month, but it wasn't like it was basically I'd say like the middle of the year in 2021. 2021. Yeah. And that was part of what I had to explain. I said you have to accept that there's going to be times when things are great and, you know, a high in terms of your views. And then there's going to be times when things are low. And if you're doing it because you enjoy it and it's a hobby, then that stuff doesn't make a difference. That roller coaster doesn't matter.
You need to not pay attention to it.
If you care about that, it's going to be a struggle mentally to handle the ups and downs. And then it's going to feel like you're getting burned out when it's not up, because it's not always going to be up. So we make sure I look at it because I think it's interesting, but that's not a driving factor in what we do or the videos we make. And so it's not a priority. The priority is making sure we continue to enjoy it and that you enjoy watching and seeing and hearing us talk. And that's, I think, a journey that YouTubers go through. And so I was actually, it's funny, I was playing with the whole chat AI bot thing the other day.
Chat GPT.
And I was like, what? I'm going to ask it. I'm like, when do YouTubers stop, or why do YouTubers stop on YouTube? And it was like,
probably they get burned out.
You know, exactly. And it's like, well, after a while, sometimes YouTubers get tired and like people aren't watching their stuff anymore.
Need a break.
And then it was funny, by the way. I wish I opened it. I should have. I didn't prepare with this because I could have read it to you. But I said, tell me a story about a girl who creates a YouTube channel about mushrooms. I just wanted to come up with something completely random. It was a pretty good story. Was
it good?
It was. It's like she went out and foraged for. It was connecting forests and mushrooms and foraging and like the whole YouTube. I did. It didn't know anything about who we were. I did that. Then I was trying to train it.
Yeah.
And I was like asking a bunch of questions about Travelin Young and like, you know, Americans living in Denmark with YouTube channels with a dog. And I was like trying to teach it. What? So like eventually it would get it, and it's still. And then it was funny. I tricked it for a while, and then it was like starting to tell me a story about it. And then I said, "Who's Travelin Young?" And then it goes, "I was mistaken. I really did. I shouldn't have said I knew what that. I don't really know what it is." And so it was. I was like, "Wow." It was a really like an exciting like 5 minutes of nonsense on this thing. But I was
God.
I started because I was curious, like,
Oh my God.
what does it think about why people stop on YouTube? And that was the first thing I asked, like, why do people stop doing YouTube? And burnout and all that stuff is basically like the reason, and that's a cycle you go through. And so we're conscious of that, and we don't want that to happen. For us, it's super important that if we take a break, or if it seems like we're not producing, maybe we are behind the scenes, we're just not ready to put it up yet.
Yeah.
But
sometimes we do just need a break. Like I think the past 2 weeks we just needed a break.
Yeah, and we have some things that we can't disclose quite yet. It's not time, but in like a month-ish, we got some things we'll tell you that's been occupying a ton of our mental capacity and
mental energy
and
physical energy,
and everything. Yes. And you'll be excited when you hear about that. But that's also but that's more like the idea that real life, when this is a hobby and not your full-time thing, will dictate sometimes where you're at. So anyway, that's our YouTube roller coaster story, and we're doing everything we can to make sure we keep making it interesting, and we do have some really cool ideas, and one of the things I want to do in the next couple months is eventually start doing live streams more frequently, because I think that could be really interesting, so we can engage more directly with you guys. So that's a plan. Ruining your YouTube with setups and things, like how can we get things set exactly. Up? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out creative ways of like having a compact live stream center that I can move around easily and hide in the house. There's going to be fascinating DIY projects in our future, I feel. Yeah, so that's all. Yeah, that's definitely occupying my YouTube algorithm at the moment. So sorry, Kara, Nate, and William Osmond, and Mark Rober, and Game It Out, who've kind of disappeared off my, for a while. Sorry. All right. So there you go. That is it. And actually, maybe it'd be interesting if you've never seen a long time ago, we did a video about why we started on YouTube. Yes. So I'm going to link to that. I might watch it. It's been a long time. God, it's over a year. That in forever. Yeah. Watch that below. And otherwise, we're going to say goodbye. Bye.